Hey guys, how are you today? I hope you are doing really well. Today I have a bit of a throwback video for you guys. I took a visit to the Reptarium with Brian BARCZYK. I spent 2 days there with them. The first day we got kind of like an overall tour, and then the second day we spent filming with them. And if you haven't watched Brian's video featuring Emily and I, you probably should. But I wanted to go through some of the videos that I took when we were there and just kind of recap them with you, relive them, and talk about what was going on. I know that Brian, along with a lot of other really large YouTubers, can get to be pretty controversial, but I know from being there firsthand, I got to see a lot of love between the staff, Brian himself, and the animals. So hopefully through my videos, you can see the same love that I'm talking about. Last thing guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I think we're ready to get right into it then. Alright guys.
The Reptarium.
The Reptarium! Emily and I at this point had never been to the Reptarium before. This is actually our first time being at the Reptarium, so this is pretty cool. We actually met Brian a year ago, like yesterday or the day before. But since then, we hadn't seen him. We'd just kind of been talking online and we've been preparing for this trip for months. And finally, like there we were at the front door looking in at the Reptarium. It was actually pretty funny because when we got there, we were sitting outside, but we weren't yet allowed in because Noah, who is Brian's son, he was supposed to be meeting us and letting us into the zoo. But he was running a bit late and we kind of beat him to it. We were sitting outside and we saw Mike, one of the staff members, walk past the glass. And it just so happened that Emily had him on Facebook. So she messaged him and she's like, hey, we're sitting outside, we see you. Not really asking him to let us in or anything, but we were just kind of like, hey, you know? But he was too scared of Lori to let us in. After we laughed at him for a bit though, Noah took us on a tour and showed us a bunch of animals. Noah was so cute because he knew like all these personality traits of all his animals, like he paid such close attention.
She really likes the front of her legs, like pet.
Oh my gosh. She's so pretty.
That's usually how we get her out.
So this is an alligator snapping turtle, and they are like these massive, extremely old, basically dinosaurs, honestly. But turtles, snapping turtles.
Yeah, it's like almost impossible. Because you have to bend over and then it's like all back. Yeah, it's terrible. You're pulling it back. No, it's
Noah was trying to get him out for us, but then really quickly realized that he was way too heavy. Do me a favor guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe. So for me, the animals that kind of got me into the reptile hobby were snakes. I absolutely love snakes. So when we got to see these really big enclosures with really big snakes, I just wish I could put that in my home for my animals, but seeing it and seeing them living in there, the way they put them together too was so artistic. Like each one was different. So one neat thing about this zoo, he tries to make it so it's super interactive. So when they have somebody there, not just me and Emily, but anybody, people who book tours, whoever comes in, whatever the case is, they kind of want to have it so that they can take the animals out and have them like hold the animals and open the cages and just like a really hands-on experience, which I thought was really cool because especially when you're working with people who might be afraid, seeing other people have that hands-on experience and just having them up close and you can see how sweet they really are. I've seen it work wonders with fears. I would have given anything when I was younger just to go to somewhere like this. Something else that I thought was really unique, they make sure that the animals don't get overstressed. The Reptarium is only open to the public 2 days a week, and they make sure that they're rotating the animals that are coming out so that everything gets that enrichment of getting out of its cage and having fun, but at the same time, nothing gets out too often or is too overstressed. They also don't have people tapping on their glass every single day because 5 days out of 7, it's closed to the public anyways.
You gotta be a tree, man.
strap them up. Grab on, buddy.
So this is a frilled dragon. So I think it was that she said something about it and then Noah was like, well, we could take them out if you want.
You can feed them too.
Oh my gosh, I want to feed them. We had them out, they were just on us, eating off of us, running on the floor.
Just gonna jump on your face. That'll not be a good time.
Come on, come on, come on!
Come on. It's gonna sell them. A few $1,000 for the 2 of them.
That's insane.
So we definitely needed more than 1 2-headed turtle. So now we got 3 of them.
We got 3.
That was actually something that was super unique. It's pretty rare to come across living, but much less thriving two-headed, well, anything, not just reptiles. But also he had a two-headed snake. I think he calls him Ben and Jerry.
Beautiful. Yeah, I want so bad.
It's a diamond carpet python. These guys, in my opinion, are one of the most beautiful types of carpet pythons that you can get. One of the things that I really enjoyed about the Reptarium is their beautiful collection of monitors. Not to mention, they had my all-time favorite, the black dragon. I have never before seen a zoo have a black dragon, aside from I think maybe one or two in Florida. But even if they did have one, they most absolutely didn't have him out.
Feed him afterwards.
Okay.
Hello, beautiful. And he completely attacked Noah.
Holy.
Oh!
Not actually attacked.
Wow, he's getting good. Feed him! Feed him!
He's like,
Dude, he's getting fast. I haven't fed him in a couple months. Load up.
let's do it again. Go some more. He's so excited.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Oh my god.
Wow. Good. That.
This is a black throat monitor. These guys are from Africa. Something really cool and unique about some African species, their poop, or urates, smell like maple syrup.
Well, there's a little urate in the water, but
That's what makes it smell.
if you just close your eyes and just really
Yeah, like syrup.
That's so Canadian, no, I just realized.
And considering we're Canadian, it was a pretty funny coincidence. This is Noah bonding with one of his little baby monitors. He was super impressed by how far he's come, and honestly, so am I. As I was saying, monitors are a difficult species to work with. Emily went right back to one of her favorites. They had so many frilled dragons. And everything was uniquely and individually named. I don't know if that's just for zoo purposes, but they actually remembered the names, or at least pretty well.
So, Big Mac and Chicken Nugget, honestly, I can't tell the difference anymore. Do you know?
So Big Mac is the one in the enclosure. Chicken Nugget is that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen this guy grow much. He might be full grown.
Europlatus fimbriatus, the giant leaf-tailed gecko.
Yeah.
So even though we had a couple hours there, we only saw like maybe a third of the entire zoo. We were just kind of really taking our time looking at everything. There was so much to see. But eventually it was time to head back to our hotel. We had to get ready because we were gonna go out and play some games with Noah at an arcade. I was determined to go home with a stuffed animal. And I did, actually. I went home with this guy who happens to be a little stuffed snake. It was so cute. I love him. So the next day we went back and we started getting right into it. Today was filming day. I believe it was a Tuesday we were there, whatever day it was like their main filming day. So they were spending the entire day cramming out a couple YouTube videos, TikToks, Instagram reels, whatever. So this was basically a jam-packed day for them, and they had us in there anyways. And we got to see basically the whole thing come together. As somebody who wants like a YouTube career like this, who wants to make content for a career, it was really inspiring. So here we were just like setting up for the next day. And one of the first things that they had to do was name these little blue-tongued skinks. They had to name the 4 different types. And essentially, they failed. So they had to put their head in these big foot spa things with these fish that eat flesh, but they don't eat living flesh, they just eat your dead skin. So Brian does this really cool thing with his YouTube videos where he makes it fun and educational at the same time. And so what he was doing in this video was the boys had to pull out some animals, answer some questions, they had some educational facts in there. While they were doing so, while they were doing whatever task they had to do, Emily and I had to hold different animals, and it started really easy, really basic. I actually got to hold some of my favorite morphs. This is a Motley Golden Child reticulated python, one of my dream animals to own. Slowly, the animals we started holding got harder and harder, bigger, squirmier. We eventually got to a point where it was like the animals were holding us. We weren't even holding them anymore.
There's a camera out. Oh my god! Oh my god.
You guys ready?
Throughout the day though, we did take a lot of breaks because it was really hot in there, as it has to be for the reptiles, just like it's hot in my house. My thermostat says 80 degrees right now in my house. So it was essential we had a lot of breaks to play with fish in the water, those little flesh-eating fish. They also did like a water bottle drinking contest.
You missed your mouth.
So cold.
When are you guys gonna finish? Jay, was it good?
It's just so cold.
Brian had in his collection some of my favorite animal species. As I've already been saying, giant snakes, all types of monitors, including this massive water monitor that I was just in love with. We got to film with him, so we had him right out cuddling with us. And they took out this beautiful croc monitor, and they had him out just bringing him around. As I was saying about some of my favorite animals though, if you know me, you know that I love alligators. Look, I even have my little alligator earrings in right now. I'm pretty obsessed with alligators, or crocodilians, but alligators specifically. And they had a free roam alligator. This area was locked off to the public, don't you worry. He was downstairs and he was just chilling. He had this really pretty pond in the corner of the room and he could just kind of come out and adventure. Brian had the cutest little armadillo. His name is Brillo. And he was so cute and adventurous, he just wanted to come out and play with us. This is a 6-banded armadillo. These guys are the type that make the best pets. They tend to be the most social, not as scared, and they don't carry leprosy, which I'm pretty sure is the 9-banded, but don't quote me on that one, guys. And way in the back that I wouldn't have even known, not really in the back, he just was kind of covered because you don't want to have just a bunch of windows on animals like this. It gets them really stressed out. So there was just one window, like just a, you know, you could see him, but that's about it. And a door to this massive enclosure with this beautiful sloth in it. And something I found really cool about this sloth was that I have worked with sloths in the past. I've cared for them, I've whatever. They almost never just walk up to you. Actually, I don't think I've ever had one unless I walked in with a food bowl, then they might be, you know, walking up to you. But this guy was genuinely just kind of like curious and walking up to say hi, which is really cool because these animals can stress very, very easily, especially in captivity. And to see him doing really well, you could tell how much love and effort just went into him. And after our wonderful day touring his facility, filming, seeing all of the animals, we went out and we went for dinner and went go-karting. Unfortunately, Brian was too busy to come because he's a busy guy, film day for him, had a lot to do. But the rest of the crew came with us and we had a lovely night with them. But after we were done eating and had our fun, it was time to go home, and so we left. We had a 6-hour drive back home. But that was probably one of the most fun times that I have ever had at any zoo, but reptile zoo in specific. I highly recommend anybody into reptiles, go check it out, see what you think for yourself. You will probably fall in love with it just like I did. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it so much, especially when you stay all the way until the end. And I hope you guys liked my video and enjoyed visiting Brian's facility with me, or revisiting it through memories. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching.